What's going on, guys? Welcome back to W.D.Y.D. CSP. What do you do as a central sterile processor? Guys, we're going back to basics and we're talking probes in the prep and pack area. How are we processing our probes? Again, guys, always refer to the IFUs because the IFUs of probes gives you so many options. Honestly, it's the most options I've ever seen on the majority of IFUs. Probes have just about validated every cleaner, disinfectant, and sterilization process out there. So there's many of options. But again, we want to know, what is the use of the probe? So the Spalding classification system is going to guide us, okay? But again, it's what's the policy of your facility? What are you doing with it? So if the IFU is stating that the device can withstand high-level disinfection, but only requires low-level disinfection or intermediate disinfection, is your policy saying, you know something, we're going to go on the safer side and high-level disinfect it? Or can you high-level disinfect it and it gives you a sterilization option? Again, in my opinion, I believe all probes should be considered critical items and they should be sterilized if they can handle sterilization. That's just my opinion. I don't think they should be treated any different than flexible scopes. Even though some of them just touch intact skin like abdominal probes, let's just treat them all the same, right? But anyway, we're here in prep and pack. So one thing for certain is that normally this goes into the prep and pack area and very little inspection or very little technician handling happens with probes. It normally comes right through the prep and pack station and then goes straight into either a high-level disinfector or a sterilizer of some sort, right? But I'm here to tell you that in prep and pack, we should be taking our time to inspect, right? So what are we doing? Hey, let's get this lighted magnification out, right? What can we possibly be inspecting on a probe? Come on, really? It's just a probe. Oh, guys, come on. That little distal window right there, that little distal functioning unit of the probe, we want to inspect that for any cracks or breaks or loss of adhesion, because again, if that's damaged, then this probe is no good. We want to inspect the whole probe in the body for any cracks or any breaks, any discolorization, any soil, right? We want to go ahead and check the connector, right? The neck where the body connects to the cable. Make sure that there's no cracks or any moisture seeping out of there. And then we want to go ahead and inspect the cord for any cracks. Again, your first line is to run your hand down there, right? Again, hold your probe, in your hand and run the cord through your hands. Feel for any nicks or any cracks or any cuts in that cord. Again, get your lighted magnification out and do the same process with your cord. When you get to your connector box, is it cracked? Is there a screw missing? Is it loose? Can you open it? Can you move it? Does the lock work? Check all that. Look at the probe. Look at the connectors. Is there any corrosion on the connectors? Is there a crack on the seal around the box? All those need to be inspected before we go into our next step. So if we're high-level disinfecting this, the high-level disinfection process at one point used to be manually. I haven't seen a manual disinfection process in a very long time. But if we're going to manually disinfect that, it's just the probe, the handle, the working end. It's not the cord. The cord was intermediate disinfected. The actual probe needs to be soaked in high-level disinfectant according to the IFU. But these float. So how do you keep that weight down? Whatever that process is in your facility, you want to make sure you get full contact for the full amount of time. If you're using an APR, I gave the name, automatic probe reprocessor. All right, which one are you using? There's different ones out in the market. So again, how are we placing that in there? If there's any connectors that go to it, some of the automatic probe reprocessors require the box to be plugged in so that you can leak test the probe, because you have to make sure that there's no damage in there. So some probes require leak testing. Again, look at the IFU. Does it require a leak test? If you're leak testing it, okay, that happens while it's in the APR. Okay, and how are you placing it in there? Where's the cord going? Where's the box going? What high-level disinfectant are you using? Is it gonna damage it? Again, you checking those IFUs, right? And then the most important part, and this is why I kind of like am shaky when we talk about high-level disinfectant. How are we handling this and storing it or transporting it after high-level disinfecting? What kind of gloves are we wearing? Are we wearing the dusty gloves that are in the corner and we're touching a high-level disinfected probe and placing it in a container that hasn't been disinfected? Or again, how is the IFU stating? Or are you using a special carrying case that go ahead and separate the probe from the cord? Because this is high-level disinfected, this is intermediate disinfected. So if this is laying on this, you just undid all that hard work of high-level disinfecting the actual probe, touching a low-level disinfected item, and then the actual box. So how are you transporting, and then how is it being stored at point of use? Is it coiled nicely? Is it hung? What is that? Now, I skipped a very important part in the prep and pack side, that again, inspection's one thing, but is it really clean? We can only see but so much with lighted magnification. And hand washing is one of those items that I say that when you're putting your quality program into place, I highly suggest you do some kind of soil testing for hand washed items, because these are the items that honestly, a lot of steps get skipped when we do hand washed items. This is a very rushed process and not much love goes into hand washing, right? So what kind of program do you have? Do you have ATP? Do you have some kind of protein testing, a multi-soil testing kit? Whatever that may be, I highly recommend that you do some kind of soil testing of your probes, and just don't do the working end. How good was your low-level disinfecting? So take multiple spots in there, right? Because if any part of this comes back with a hit, then we know that we didn't do our job correctly. So you want to go ahead and get that soil in there and see what you got. If it came out good, then you can go ahead and go to the final step, which is either high-level disinfecting or sterilization of your probe. And again, guys, whichever process you use, whether it's high-level disinfectant or sterilization, the handling afterwards determines how that item is upkept or maintained before it's used on a patient. All right, guys, as always, stay true to yourselves, keep it 100, continue educating yourself, and until next time, peace.